Hello and welcome back. Today we are discussing multiplying fractions. Multiplying fractions is relatively straightforward. To obtain the numerator of the product, you multiply the numerators of your fractions together, and to determine the denominator of the product, you multiply by the denominators of the fractions together. Let's see this in action. So in the case of 4 over 5 times 7 over 9, the numerator of our product should be equal to 4 times 7. The denominator should be 5 times 9. Four times 7 equals 28. And 5 times 9 equals 45. So 4 fifths times 7 ninths equals 28 45ths, or 28 over 45. Let's solve another one. Here we see 4 over 14 is being multiplied by 5 over 6. So the numerator of our product should be 4 times 5. And the denominator of our product should be 14 times 6. 4 times 5 equals 20. And 14 times 6 equals 84. Now, we can simplify 20 over 84. But to do so, it would be important to know the greatest common factor between 20 and 84. In this case, I will provide it for us. It is 4 in this case. So, 20 over 84 is equal to 20 divided by 4, all that over 84 divided by 4, which then equals 5 over 21. So writing our answer in simplest form, or our product in simplest form at this multiplication problem, 4 over 14 multiplied by 5 over 6 equals 5 over 21. If you did not know the greatest common factor of 20 and 84 was 4, you can instead note that 20 and 84 are both even. Which means that they are divisible by 2. And that would mean that 2 is a factor of both 20 and 84. So 20 divided by 2 over 84 divided by 2 equals 10 over 42. We see that both 10 and 42 are even. So we can repeat this process. It may not be always easy or convenient or fast to find the greatest common factor of your numerator and denominator in a fraction. So you can use other common factors to simplify. It may take a few more steps though. One thing that can help is writing your initial multiplication problem, each of the fractions in that problem, in simplest form. That usually helps remove a step. Okay. So far, we've solved such a problem of 7 over 25 multiplied by 10 over 49 by saying 7 times 10 over 25 times 49 would be our solution here. Once we say what 7 times 10 and 25 times 49 actually are. In this case, 7 times 10 we know is 70. And we can solve the problem of 25 times 49 to get 1,225. Or to say it's more correctly, 70 over 1,225. Ands are usually reserved for numbers with a decimal point in them. Here it is not so clear what the greatest common factor is, but we see that 70 ends in a 0, and 1,225 ends with a 5, meaning that both are divisible by 5. So let's start there. So 70 divided by 5 is going to be equal to 14 and 1,225 divided by 5 is equal to 245. So this is an equivalent fraction here to 70 over 1,225. The numerator and denominator here are both divisible by 7. So you can say that 14 over 245 is equal to 14 divided by 7 divided by 245 divided by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2, and 245 divided by 7 is 35. It may not have been apparent to you that 14 and 245 are both divisible by 7. 14, sure, but 245, most of our basic multiplication facts don't go up that far. So what can we do to make this a bit easier to determine? Well, we can use something called canceling. And in canceling, we're going to first look at the numerator of your first fraction and the denominator of your second fraction. And then we are going to divide both of these quantities by their greatest common factor. In this case, it is 7. So now we have 7 divided by 7 over 25 times 10 over 49 divided by 7. Okay. If we were to evaluate this, we could see that's 1 over 25 now times 10 over 7. Now we look at the denominator of the first fraction and the numerator of the second fraction. Okay? The greatest common factor is 5. So we can rewrite this now as 1 over 25 divided by 5 times 10 divided by 5 over 7. So after canceling is completely finished, we could say 7 over 25 times 10 over 49 is the same problem, or has the same product as 1 over 5, 25 divided by 5 here, times 2 over 7, with that 2 coming from 10 divided by 5 here. If we multiply this through, 1 times 2 is 2, and 5 times 7 is 35, which matches what we found above. We can talk more about how this works in a future video. Let's continue. Oops. Division is not that different from multiplication of fractions. Okay? What you end up doing is you multiply, you have a division problem, look at your first fraction, and then you multiply that first fraction by the reciprocal of your second fraction. Now, remember that the reciprocal of a fraction has the number in the numerator switched with the number in the denominator of the original fraction. So if we look at this fraction here, 10 over 31, or 10/31, we see we have 10 in the numerator and 31 in the denominator. In the reciprocal of 10/31, or 10 over 31, 31 is now in the numerator and 10 is in the denominator. Let's solve these division problems. So we have 5/7 divided by 2/3. Let's write this out as the multiplication problem that this will become. 5/7 times the reciprocal of 2/3. So I have 3 here and 2 there. So 5/7 divided by 2/3 is equal to 5/7 multiplied by 3/2, or 3/2. We multiply 5 times 3 to get 15, and then 7 times 2 equals 14. This means that 5/7 divided by 2/3 equals 15/14, or 15/14. This can also be written as the mixed number 1 and 1/14 as well. Let's try a second one. Here we have 2/3 divided by 5. Let's first write this out with 5 written as a fraction. So we have 2/3 divided by 5/1, because we have 5 wholes, or whole units, or something like that. Basically 5 of some item. Now we perform the reciprocal, or obtain the reciprocal, without much issue. The resulting multiplication problem would then be 2/3, or 2/3, times the reciprocal of 5/1, which would be 1/5. 2 times 1 is 2, and 3 times 5 is 15. So we found that 2/3 divided by 5 is equal to 2/15. Thank you for joining me today as we talked about multiplying fractions, briefly touched on canceling, and then discussed dividing by fractions. I hope you've been able to brush up on what you may have forgotten or have learned something new today. I hope you join me for the next lesson we learn together. Please like and subscribe for more content. See you next time.